Okay, Calm 102, Erica Sharp, third speech, persuasive speech. My 9 people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. My 5x8 note cards. This is a persuasive speech in support of stem cell research. I will put, could you hold that for a second? Okay. I'm going to put it in its holder like that. And then I think that's pointed right. Can you just look at it when I get up there? Okay. Support of stem cell research. While cleaning out my parents' home after my father died in 2007, I came across a handwritten note in his handwriting sitting on the table. It read, "I am Al Lavick." He was dying. He was losing his mind, literally, and he knew it. You might have a coworker or a good friend, or even a family member, who's been affected by a terminal disease that might be helped by some stem cell therapy. My parents died of Alzheimer's disease, so research into the cure for this disease and like diseases are of special interest to me. Diseases today affect millions of Americans across the United States and can potentially be wiped out by the application of stem cell therapy. The current state of modern medicine seeks only to mitigate those diseases by managing the decay of the disease or the symptoms that we suffer from. The research that goes on in labs today focuses mostly on finding cures while it drags on through the labs in different years with little results. Partly because we don't know the causes of many of the diseases, but also partly because that damage is self-inflicted. The largest killer in the United States today is heart disease. According to the information posted for the Centers for Disease Control website on November 28, 2017, about 610,000 people die of heart disease in the United States every year. That's 1 in 4 deaths. Conventional medicine focuses more on a lifestyle change, on many different kinds of medications that you can take, and very often invasive surgeries that take a long time to recover from. These therapies tend to slow down the damage, the rate of decay, but they don't go to the actual problem of fixing what's really wrong, which is the damaged tissues. There is also neurological diseases such as Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, epilepsy, MS. They are agonizing diseases to endure and watch when you've known the people that you love and care for and you just watch them wither away in front of your eyes. The quality of life is also affected for those patients. Muscle stiffness, inability to sleep, memory loss, anxiety, dizziness, confusion, and amnesia are just some of the several symptoms that patients suffer from. But without question, the most controversy when it comes to stem cell research is the ethics of using embryonic stem cells in medical research. Embryonic cells are eggs that are fertilized in a laboratory. The debate to use embryonic cells is about life itself, where we came from, where does life start, and it's truly passionate on both sides of the argument. But what if there was an effective method where we didn't have to use embryonic stem cells, that we could still repair all the damage to our cells? Wouldn't that be a great thing? In half a century, the medical community has had great success in identifying the causes and treating different kinds of diseases using cells other than embryonic cells. In the early 2000s, researchers have discovered that they could use adult cells as stem cells instead of embryonic cells. These are called induced pluripotent stem cells, or iPSCs. Wallace Raven from the New York Times reported on January 17th of 2017 that in the early 2000s, a Kyoto University scientist, Shinya Yamamaka, re-energized the field by devising a technique to reprogram an adult cell, such as a skin cell, and coax it back to its earliest pluripotent stage. From there, it could become any type of cell, a hair cell, a brain cell, or a neuron. Decades later, researchers have been working with programmable type of adult stem cells from various parts of the body. Work continues with those kinds of cells, and they can come from places like bone marrow, brain, liver, teeth, and your skin, and they're capable of replacing damaged tissue within those body parts. That work continues, and it can be used to replace tissue instead of just managing the disease. Stem cell research also yields other kinds of things besides just replacement cell therapy. David Wahlberg, writing for the Wisconsin State Journal on November 19, 2017, stated, in his UW-Madison lab, Su-Chung Zhang discovered a likely cause of ALS, the deadly neurological disorder known as Lou Gehrig's disease, after turning skin cells from an ALS patient into stem cells. It's exciting to think of different remedies for all these different incurable diseases, but that takes support and effort on our part. Think of your life and the people in it. Let's say you're on a family outing and you're swimming, and you feel a tingling in your leg. You think it might just be a muscle cramp, so you just dismiss it. 6 months later, you're in a neurologist's office being handed a diagnosis of multiple sclerosis. Now your life has changed irrevocably. Or maybe your mother, she smoked her entire life. Now she has COPD and she struggles to breathe, wheezing at nighttime. She's come to live with you because she can no longer work, and the stress of caring for her is causing anxiety for you both. These are examples of what real people go through today, and they could be helped by stem cell therapy. Maybe not today, but support for this kind of research can create a path to true cures. Opposing this research leaves only conventional methods and a death sentence for people eventually. Stem cells create a real potential for a cure for a variety of different diseases, both physiological and neurological, years back, rather than just proclaiming a death sentence. No doubt that the use of stem cells, the very essence of who we are, should be and is being discussed from an ethical standpoint, but that should not turn us away as a society from pursuing this avenue of very good research. We don't have to use embryonic cells in research. We can use adult cells to affect change. By developing stem cell therapy, we can replace and repair instead of just slowing down a disease. I urge you to support this in a positive communication way with both your congressmen and your senators. They have the power to introduce legislation that can help support the medical community in support of this really excellent avenue and obtain results. Who knows? One day, your life might be saved, or someone you love, by this medical breakthrough. Thank you. Okay, now I have to get the 9 people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.